Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to online classes and have a pleasant morning to all of you. Now, I, Ajay Kumar, your English teacher, is going to deal with the exercise of third chapter, Refugee Blues. Right? So, dear student, do you remember how I have explained you the poem written by W.H. Auden? Can you summarize it up for me? Right? If you can write down the summary, or if you want me to help you out, I can do so, but you'll have to listen it very carefully. All right. So let us begin the summarization of this poem. Right now, let's start. The speaker of the poem says that the current city he is in has 10 million souls. Some live in great mansions while some live in poor holes. In neither dwelling there is a place for him and his companion. Now, the second stanza, he says, he once had a country which he thought was good and just, and it was still there, but he cannot go back to it now. His and his companions' passport expired, and they do not renew themselves like the yew, which blossom anew in every spring. When the council asked for their passport, he replied that they had expired. The council then shouted that if they had no passports, they were officially dead, but they were still alive. They went in front of a committee to get their passport renewed, but they told them to come back next year. But where shall they go today? Now the speaker wonders. The speaker now went to public meeting, and there he heard the open protestation against letting them into the country. The speaker imagined the thunder rumbling. It was Hitler saying that all Jews must be put to death. Dear student, this stanza is not given in this poem. Actually, this poem is of 12 stanza, but here in this poem we can see only 11 stanza. So you can skip this line where it says that it was Hitler saying that all Jews must be put to death. So you can skip this line. Now, the next stanza, the speaker was a well dressed poodle, a door opening for a cat, saw the fish swimming freely in the harbor, saw the birds singing happily in the wood. They were all having better lives than he and his companion, a couple of Jews. Now, in next stanza, the speaker dreams of a huge building with thousands of rooms, and yet none had their name over it. He stood on a great plain and saw tens of thousands of soldiers marching. The speaker ends the poem by saying that that means the soldiers, were looking for them. Them here, the Jews. So, in short, the speaker is saying that there is nowhere in this world which has thousands of doors, which takes good care of pets, and which is a home for free birds and fish, and a heart or a place for Jews. So, this is what the summarization of the poem can be noted down. Right now, let us move to the exercises. Right, we'll see the poem appreciation On the basis of your understanding of the poem, tick the best choice of the answer. Who is the speaker in this poem? A diplomat, a poet, a Jewish refugee, a journalist. So the correct answer would be Jewish refugee. A Jewish refugee himself is a poet. Now, how is the third line of each stanza different? We can see the options for this question is: it conveys a positive message, it addresses someone close to the poet, it reverses the mood of the two lines, the tone of consoling the listener. So you can say the tone is consoling to the listener. Now, what is the tone of the speaker? Thoughtful, instructional, satirical, gloomy. Satirical. Right? Now, moving to the next question, question number 2. Where do the narrator and his companion want to go? Where are they unable to do so? Why are they unable to do so? So we can see, as we have read this poem, the narrator and his companion want to go to the current city where he is living, but they are unable to do so because there is no place for them to live in that city, because the Nazis, German soldiers don't want them to live in that city. Now, third question: why did the council bang the table? Why was he angry? So to the answer of this question would be, the council banged the table because of their passport. They were not having the passport, and the council also told them that if they have no passport, then they would be counted as a dead. Now, why was he angry? The council was angry because they were not having the passport, and yet they want to return to the own city or country. Next question: what was the refugee offered by the committee, and why? What did they ask him? What was his reaction? So the answer to the fourth question would be, the refugee was offered by the committee a type of, a promise that they should come after 1 year, right? And the offer did not mean helpful for the narrator and his companion. So the reaction of the narrator was weird, because he was looking for a needful help at present time and not in future. So they moved to another place for help. Now, fifth number question: what did the narrator see at the harbor? What did the refugee see in the woods? So the answer to the fifth question would be, the narrator saw that the fish were swimming freely at the distance of only 10 feet. They were all free. The refugee also saw that the birds were singing freely in the woods, because they were not having any political master or leader to derive them. Now, to the answer of sixth question: what did the refugee see in his dream? So the answer would be, The refugee saw that the refugee saw in his dream that a building with 1,000 floors and 1,000 windows and 1,000 doors were there, but there was no place for them to live in. Now, next question: who is looking for the refugees? So the answer for seventh question would be the 10,000s of soldiers were looking for the refugees at the plain of snow. Now, eighth number question: what is the setting of the poem? So the answer to this question would be, you can say, setting of the poem. The poem is set in some foreign country wherein the speaker and his companion took refuge. This is seen from the indifference of people and also from the sentence verse. If we let them in, they take they will take and steal our daily bread. So this is the setting of the poem. Now, ninth number question: the poem talks about the human rights violation suffered by a pair of German Jewish people during Second World War who are trying to find some refuge. What are the difficulties that they face? So to this question, the answer would be, since the German Jews suffered the human right violation uh, by means of many things, and it could be seen by it could be seen by the lines followed. The number one is that there were no city where they can live. Number two, they went for the they went to the council to get their passport renewed, their passport, but they didn't get any support. Number three, then after they went to the committee, but the committee did not help them immediately. Number fourth, they were treated less than an animal. Number fifth, they were also being monitored by the soldiers that they should not get inside the another country. So these are the points you can write for this question. The answer would be, now, question number 10: which line of the poem imply the following? Complete this table. So meaning, it is a large city where nowhere to go. So for this question, the first line would be, you can write down the first stanza. This whole stanza you can write down. Right? Now, next, we are being wiped out of existence. We have no identity. So to answer of this second question, B number would be, this stanza. The councils banged the table and said, if you have got no passport, you are officially dead. But we are still alive, my dear, but we are still alive. Now, number C. Even in my dreams, I see no place for us in the world. So to lines from the poem will be from this is sorry. Dreamed I saw a building with 1,000 floors, 1,000 windows, and 1,000 doors. No one of them was ours, my dear. No one was. This one will be the answer. Now the last D number. We are hunted down and tormented. We will always live in fear of being found. Now the last line of the poem would be the answer of this. This one. Stood on a great plain in the falling snow. 10,000 soldiers marched to and fro looking for you and me, my dear, looking for you and me. Now, question number 11. It says, read about the following poetic devices. Find an example from the poem and explain it. So, the first poetic device is hyperbole, right? So, hyperbole is the use of exaggeration. एग्जेगरेशन मीन्स किसी भी चीज़ को बढ़ा चढ़ा करके बताना, राइट. एंड द आंसर फॉर दिस फर्स्ट hyperbole would be hold on just 1 second. Dreamed I saw a building. This is a hyperbole. From here to dreamed I saw a building with 1,000 floors, 1,000 windows, and 1,000 doors. This will be the answer of hyperbole. Now, a metaphor is a figure of a speech that describes an object or action in a way that is not literally true but helps explain an idea. So to the question of this, answer is not given because I've told you there are 12 stanzas in this poem, but one stanza has been skipped, and that was like when Hitler was giving instructions to their soldier to wipe out the whole Jews. So the answer to this question is not given here. Now, imagery. Imagery is the use of language to improve the reader's experience through their sense. Give an example of visual and oral imagery. So to the answer of this C number question will be 2. The first one will be the line in the village churchyard there grows an old yew. Every spring it blows anew. This is an imaginary sentence, right? And another will be dream I saw. This one. These two are the imaginary lines. You can see the imaginary poetic device has been used in this question. Lines. Now, D number, rhyme scheme is the order pattern of rhymes at the end of the lines of a poem or verse. Now we can see many rhymes for this question. As we can see, souls, holes, fair, there, you, anew, sad, dead. These are the rhyme schemes used. So in this poem, the rhyme scheme used is AAB. Okay. So the answer for this question would be the end of first two lines will be the rhyme scheme used in this poem. Now, dear student, we have reached to the end of today's session, and we have dealt the exercise completely. We have finished the exercise of this chapter, Refugee Blues, and I hope you have understood this chapter completely. If there is any more query related to this chapter, you may ask me in comment section, and I'll be happy to reply your queries, your questions. Now, dear student, we'll meet with another part, with another topic and chapter. Till then, bye, take care, and have a nice day. Thank you.